I am so excited to introduce this next conversation. As many of you know, Survivor Speak has always been a space for us to share our survivor experiences and particularly our healing journeys. We know that right now in this global pandemic, so many of us are experiencing loss, we're experiencing isolation, our past triggers, memories, and so much more. So these two experts, Dr. Butler, artist and actor Mario, are going to be sharing with us just tips and tools on our collective care during COVID. Dr. B?
Thank you, Anna, for connecting us. Mario, I am so delighted that you decided to join us. As we know, it is so important as survivors to be able to connect around our collective care, which is so different from self-care. We attend to our collective journeys as survivors by sharing our strategies with each other. But before we get into it, Mario, would you mind sharing just a little bit about what brings you to the work?
Yes.
And some of your strategies?
Yes. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Dr. Butler, for having me. First and foremost, I think it's really unique that, the things that are bringing us together right now are the very things that also we fear the most, and sometimes it is that fear that that we should look at and say, well, why is it that we fear things? Where is this fear stemming from? And a lot of times it's in that fear that we find ways to get to a solution. What brings me here is hearing about what survivors represents, both on the ground, in our hearts, in their hearts, and feeling like a survivor myself. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. A lot of people know me from music, know me from films and TV and being an entertainer. But before I was able to embark on that part of my life at a young age, 15 years old, I was a kid in Baltimore. I grew up in a household of 18 people, in a small household in the inner city of Baltimore. My grandmother raised most of my family, most of my cousins. But my mom suffered with heroin addiction. So for most of my life, I dealt with, being the child of a substance abusing parent and going through those trials and tribulations with her. When I was 13, I got adopted. And I ended up moving away. My first manager was pretty much my adopted parent. And that's how I got into the industry. But I still felt like I didn't have a place in the world. I didn't know who I was. As a young artist, you are kind of put in the forefront and you wear this mask, right? And you're, pretty much your light is used to make money, your art, but you're not healing. You're not growing. You're not growing personally. So by the time I turned 18 years old, I had traveled the world. I had seen a lot of crazy things in the industry. I was exposed to drugs, sex, rock and roll, and just everything that you can imagine. But I think growing up in Baltimore, being that I had seen all of that already, it wasn't surprising to me. It wasn't something where I was losing myself in it, because I think I saw so much at a young age. I was exposed to everything. My mom exposed me to everything. Not growing up with a father and seeing my younger cousins, the police would come and raid our house because they were selling drugs, and twice a month police breaking in our house. And living in Baltimore, you just see literally every aspect of trauma, abuse, substance abuse. You see violence, of course. You see crime, towards your own people. You see, I think my grandmother, though, she showed me what being a powerful spirit is in the midst of darkness. She went to church every Sunday, cooked for the family. She showed me what unconditional love was. And I think that's what kind of carried me through to the point where I was able to then fend for myself and take care of myself and learn how to heal myself. Her spirit, she passed when I was 12, but her spirit carried me through, because I saw how, though she was getting used by my family, she wasn't appreciated the way she worked 3 jobs. She never lost her soul. She never gave up on people. And I used to always, growing up, you wonder, where does that strength come from? What type of heart do you have to have in order to not judge people? I remember one time we had just left church on a Wednesday, and our church was in the city, like on the other side of town. And we were leaving the market. The car was full of people. It was all my cousins were in the car. We were like jam packed. And this homeless lady was standing outside. It was raining. It was pouring down raining. It was thunderstorming. And my grandmother, she just went in to like get like some milk or something else. We sat in the car for 15 minutes and I saw her contemplating. And I'm like, what is she contemplating about? I'm like maybe like 10, 11 at the time. She took the homeless lady home with us, fed her the next morning, and then took her to a shelter the next day. That's the type of heart and spirit she had. And I can't say I've ever met anybody like her before, not even in my family. So that part of her spirit stayed with me even when she passed. So when I saw the other side of things being in the industry, and I saw how people who had everything, quote unquote, were still going through the same traumas. And I'm like, okay, so this has nothing to do with, I mean, obviously there's levels to it, systematically to it, when it comes to like people having and not having, but trauma ultimately is something that you can heal from. You can heal yourself. My grandmother showed me that. So I was like, I want to learn that in my own way. So I started doing meditations and I started studying and understanding the power that we have to heal ourselves at a young age. I would say about 20 is when I really started, because I just noticed the industry taking a toll on me. I noticed it starting to bother me. And on top of that, me not having a foundation was just, it's like double trouble, So that's when I started, that's when I started really diving in and just seeing that there weren't any resources where I came from. And once you start to heal and you start to you're not distracted by your trauma so much, now you can see things much more clear and you can see your past and you can forgive yourself and you can see maybe things that have happened that you didn't want to look at before that you wanted to forget. They start to come back up as you heal and, you work through these things and then you become a healer yourself. There's a saying, they hurt people, but heal people help to heal people. Right? So I think that's what we are. That's what we're here for. Like we're Avengers in this point in time where we would never think that this pandemic would pull us together like this. Right. So now it's like the Avengers, you went through everything you had to go through, to heal and to understand that your purpose and what you went through can help heal others and heal yourself even more when you're actually focusing on it. And it's something that you are ready for. You're ready to go through the process of healing. And it's a beautiful journey. It's a bittersweet journey, obviously, but I think that's what I'm here for.
I love it. So the ability to witness and bear witness to extreme harm, to watch pure light through your grandmother's spirit, and transition that into the work that you're doing right now, bears light in the way that you show up today.
Yes.
And so well beyond being an artist, you are first human in spirit. And one of the questions that I would have for you, like personally, as well as our survivors who are listening right now, is how do you activate that sense of healing in you every day?
Well, there's definitely an initial awareness that needs to be focused on self. I think energy follows awareness. So it's stepping back from society and the world as we know it through our experience, our programmed experience, stepping back from that, being able to see yourself outside of that, and really look at yourself and forgive yourself for any consent you've given to a life that you didn't choose or a life that was forced upon you. And once you do that, I think that you start to, naturally learn to love yourself and you start studying more and you start reading more, whether it be, your focus might be, okay, I want to work out more and I want to be more healthy. Your focus might be, I want to stop overthinking and being, harsh towards myself. Another focus could be, I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm being abused mentally or physically. How do I get outside of that? First, I got to heal myself. First, I got to accept that this isn't my choice. This isn't something that, I chose. It's something that I found myself in, maybe from one choice that led to a domino effect of things. And now I'm in this position, but I'm not stuck. I can heal from this. I can get out of this situation. I can become the person that attracts something better for me. But I think it starts with definitely focusing awareness on yourself and on the fact that God loves you.
Yeah.
And, everybody, when we're incarnated into this physical realm, it's contrast. There's no dark without light. It's just a part of it. But our goal is to balance it all out. And unfortunately, we live in a society and a world that's gone so far off the path of balance that, we've just got caught up in these systems. And again, I think now is the time where everything is highlighted. All the stuff is rising to the top. And so now we have the opportunity to collectively come together with organizations like Survivors who are on the front line. People are not seeing it though. People are not on the front. We got to let people know that there are people on the front line fighting. Survivors, let me specifically say survivors, on the front line fighting for healing to be a necessity in our country and politics, everything. It's a part of the way we make our country better, the way we make our world better. Because when we heal ourselves, we'll heal the planet. When we heal the planet, we'll live better, we'll feel better. Even our desires shift. It's not like, everybody's like, we got to get to the bag. We got to survive. Chasing the bag doesn't lead to healing. Chasing the bag doesn't lead to happiness. But society forces you to focus on the margins of people that have and the margins of people that have not. So I think all of it's collectively tethered together to create a world that's just unbalanced. And, we're here to speak about how to do that. So to speak specifically about techniques, there's not, I don't think every technique works for everybody. Techniques work for different people differently. So I think that, again, the first thing is becoming aware. Finding time throughout your day to spend alone, just literally focusing on being present. Like this. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta stop. And you gotta take a deep breath and feel yourself and feel your heart, feel your pain, feel everything. And know that it's a process. You can't rush the process of healing, just like you didn't rush the process of experiencing trauma. It's something that is gradual. And we have to take these same approaches and be patient with ourselves. I know a lot of people that I know, they're not patient with themselves. And it took me some time to learn how to be patient with myself, especially in a world that's moved so fast and that has so much demand for your presence, your energy, your time, your life. So you got to be selfish with your time, with your energy sometimes so that you can heal. It can be meditation. It can be reading. It could be listening to certain frequencies of music that actually help to heal. There's, as we know, we live in an energetic realm and we're energetic beings. So there's music, there's obviously eating healthier. There's so much we could go into, but all of these things I've collectively learned over the years what works best for me. But it took me time. I had to practice different things, practice different diets, practice different sleeping patterns, practice different retracting from certain parts of my life, whether it be certain friends, whether it be certain people. Sometimes it's painful because you get used to certain cycles, and pulling back from those cycles can be painful because you're tethered to it, you're attached to it. So attachments has a lot to do with it, and all of these things are the human part of it. The spirit, of course, when the spirit is compressed, it experiences trauma, it experiences pain, it experiences detachment from like being able to be its full self, which to me is trauma. It's a traumatic experience to not be able to express yourself to the fullest level. And the society we live in today, everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody. I hate to say that. A lot of people are very judgmental. So you feel like you can't be yourself, and you feel like you can't go out and express yourself freely because you're scared of being judged. And I think that's another part of freedom and sovereignty is expressing yourself, whether it's in your household with your family, whether it's with your friends, whether it's just with random people, like being expressive and being open about how you feel about things and not, putting so much pressure on yourself to fit in a specific box, because your spirit feels that, your body feels that, your mind programs itself to naturally do that in certain cases. And now maybe something that you're supposed to do naturally in your life, you're not learning that you have that ability because you're not allowing yourself to access that. So just all these different things of accepting yourself, I think comes through spending time and being present with yourself. And I think that's the beginning of it.
Listen, Mario, as a survivor, we quickly learn to pivot, right? When we have moments of disruption. And what you were anchoring us in was this understanding that through liberation comes through when we can experience being our full selves.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of being our full selves is navigating this journey of what healing looks like, what healing is experienced as individually as well as collectively. See, that's the part that
individually as one.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
Because what we understand is, as I take care of myself, I am better equipped to take care of the connected us, right? Mm-hmm. And that story of what happened with your grandmother and the way in which she extends herself is clearly reigns through your DNA today.
Thank you.
I see it.
That's the greatest compliment anybody could give me. I honor her on so many levels, and I feel her presence with me so much, in the darkest times of my life. Thus far, my 33 years of living, I have always leaned onto her love that's never left. You know what I'm saying? And it's really important, for us to have those types of people in our lives, even if it's for sure. It's crazy because I only spent 12 years of my life with her, but it felt like so much longer because her love, that's how powerful love is, y'all. Survivors, this is how powerful love is. Love literally transcends everything. Yeah. It is the foundation of our existence, which is why when it's absent, it feels so painful.
Yeah.
And the absence comes in the form of trauma. It comes in the form of not accepting self. It comes in the form of being judged by others, being ridiculed by others, being hurt by others. It comes in all these different forms, but it's the awareness of that can lead us back to a healing process. And so.
And a part of that healing process is coming to full self and finding our tribe. Yes. And Mario, I am so glad to have met you. You have shaped me. Wow. Just by your expression, and that's real.
Thank you.
The way that you're able to talk about the harm that happens when people take liberties or people are not invested in their healing is not attended to. That doesn't create space for us to be safe together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what it's about, right? Because we all come from different. Sorry, it's my dog. They're barking at the guy outside.
This is real life, Mario, right?
Hey! Be quiet.
Listen, Mario, this is real life. Between dogs barking, phones ringing, we still yet find space to share and co-create what healing looks like. That's right.
Yeah, like we're the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? We're here now, on the front lines. Like, my career and my music is just a platform. Like it's almost impossible for me to do the groundwork just with my music, because the music industry it's fluff. You know what I'm saying? It's smoke and mirrors, a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm on a call. Go outside. Go out there. Go outside. Good boy. Go back. Sorry. So, so it's hard to like be the full extent of who I am. So this is like ground zero right here. You know what I'm saying? This is where we come together and we put our experiences, our knowledge. Everybody has a superpower. That's what we got to realize. Everybody literally, I don't care if you feel like you've never been anything, you've never had anything, you're broke, you have been beaten, you have a superpower that's embedded in you that's so strong because of what you've gone through. It's like kinetic energy. If anybody watched Black Panther, when he put the black suit on, and he was getting beat up, and he was getting all that power, and then he released it when he needed to. It's like that. if you're still alive, you can fight back. Even your spirit, when you pass on, can fight back. Don't get it twisted. Those people that leave here and they may experience trauma, their spirits are strong, man. Your spirit never dies. So it's powerful when you can merge your spirit with your will of intention as a human being. You're that much more powerful, and God is right there with you. God is right there with you. So I'm here today to tell the survivors today that you guys are. It's 2020. We're in the age of Aquarius. All of this craziness is going on, but on the other side, frequencies are rising on the planet. You are here as a portal to help usher in this change that's 100% coming, because we're not going to stop until we see a change in our societies. This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with. We're learning right now that race and your money don't matter, because that can stop tomorrow. We have no control over that in reality, quote unquote reality. So it ain't about that. It's about your heart. It's about your will. It's about your strength. And it's about us coming together collectively and doing our parts. You guys are on the ground. Y'all in the streets. Y'all at the local governments. Y'all fighting for something. I'm here, from my perspective, getting codes about things that I've experienced to share with you. Like it's Avengers. We the Avengers right now. We here to show people that have lost sight of what being human is about. We're here to show them that we're going to stick together and that we're going to usher in this change that's inevitably going to happen. I believe it. I know it will.
Mario, I want to say thank you. I know it will. And having you with us today.
Thank you.
And not just today, I've already invited you to the full family of survivors.
Yes. Thank you.
Part of
yeah.
a part of our work and a part of our superpower, as you said, is elevating our voices and healing through action. And so healing is prioritized where we're doing the things that you just listed today and letting that move us to that Avenger state, that survivor state, that thriver state that says, now let's elevate policies, let's elevate communities that create the sense where we belong.
Absolutely.
Places where we feel safe, right?
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, survivors. Special thanks to Tiffany Kumar for connecting me with Anna. And thank you, Dr. Butler, for this. And thank you for the technical team, Quincy. Everybody on the back end, making sure that this is running real smooth. And survivors, I love you guys. Thank y'all again for having me. We in this together, and I hope that I was able to shed some light. I'm inspired, and I love you guys.
I love you. When survivors speak, change happens. Thank you.